Afternoon, temperatures falling to 0 by 5 p.m. and wind chills in the 20s below 0. Tonight, continued windy, low around -7. Tomorrow, a chance of flurries, continued windy and cold with temperatures around 0 all day and through the night. Saturday, light snow possible in the morning, then mostly sunny and windy with a high near 11. Christmas Day, sunny with a high near 15. And Monday, partly sunny with a high near 23. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
This is Jim over at CBD Botanicals. We've got something for everybody. It could be a topical, it could be a chocolate, it could be a gummy, a drink, a tincture, an inhalable, even a smokable. This week, December 19th through 24th, CBD Botanicals is going to do a buy one, get one 42.0% off sale. And that is on everything in the shop. Every product in the shop. Doesn't matter if it's a vapable, if it's a gummy, if it's a tincture, if it's a dog treat. It is unlimited. You can mix and match as you please, and there is no dollar amount limit. So if you want to get 16 items, 8 of them are going to be 42.0% off. So come on by to 2538 South Cokie Mill Road at the corner of Cokie Mill and Isles, next to Walgreens in the Fresenius building. You might see Tatum, our shop pet. You might see Coraline. You might even see Ollie or Christina as well. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to see me too.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Looking at that radar, looks like we've got this winter storm coming pretty hot and heavy. Well, I should say cold and heavy. It's impacting Kansas City right now and stretching all the way to the northeastern part of Missouri as it barrels towards Illinois. And we've got some winter weather to notify you about with that winter storm warning in effect through Saturday. And snow is expected 2 to 4 inches, wind gusts as high as 50 miles an hour at times. Visibility down to 1/4 mile or less at times. So that's going to make some driving conditions a bit sketchy later on tonight, overnight, into early tomorrow morning. But what's the actual timeline look like for that winter weather? Well, we do have that chance of rain or snow. It doesn't really look like that's happening here at Riverton Ranch, but the Weather Service does say that the temperature is going to plummet throughout the day from 34 where it's at now down to 1 degree by 5 p.m. And the wind chill with winds up to 37 miles an hour could feel like minus 23 at times. So if you do have to go out, I would encourage you to pack layers, pack some food, pack some water, get some gloves, get a beanie or something like that. And if you are going out and you don't anticipate getting back home until later in the day, prepare for some snow. It could be heavy at times later on this afternoon, starting up at about 3. And then over into the evening, you could see that continued snow with blowing snow. We're looking at, again, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible as all of that barrels in here. We'll be, of course, looking at the radar from a couple of different vantage points. But, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems to be impacting a lot of the northeastern part of the state. And then, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems to be impacting a lot of the northeastern part of the state. And then, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems to be impacting a lot of the northeastern part of the state. And then, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems to be impacting a lot of the northeastern part of the state. And then, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems to be impacting a lot of the northeastern part of the state. And then, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems to be impacting a lot of the northeastern part of the state. And then, of course, you could see the National Weather Service here showing that storm coming our way. But right now, it seems northwest part of Missouri, stretching all the way to the northeastern part of Missouri. All right, let's talk about making sure that you know that we have warming centers around the area. With the bitter cold that's expected, there's, of course, the opportunity for people that don't have the same means that you and I have, and that's being able to go inside a nice warm home. So if you see people out that are freezing, be sure to direct them to the variety of warming centers that we have here in the Springfield area. That includes the Springfield city offices. Those are going to be open from 8 to 5. You also have White Oaks Mall. It's going to be open from 11 to 7. And even on till 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. Of course, I don't know how that is going to be impacted by the holidays. But you've also got the Salvation Army. They've got the overflow shelter at their main campus, and the main campus is open from 9 in the morning till 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Washington Street Mission, they also are open during certain parts of the day, but that site's going to be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. St. John's Breadline, they've got some hours of operation for breakfast and some lunch service. And Saturday and Sunday holidays they're open for lunch. But you've also got the city's Office of Community Relations open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And if you need more assistance, you can contact the city, and they've got several different resources available for some needy people who, when the temperature plummets as it's about to, it's not going to be pretty. We also have some other headlines locally. Kroger opening back up in Taylorville, and that's after having to deal with some, asbestos? But the Environmental Protection Agency came in and found some materials containing asbestos and actually had to shut that down. But, hey, they opened back up. And you got another grocery option there in Taylorville. So good news to hear about that. You also have Pillsbury Mills. They are moving forward with some demolition. Expected to take place over the next 2 weeks, and this is a big deal. You've got even the prospect of $2 million going to the site there, the old Pillsbury Mills site. In anticipation that you've got that federal money coming, what's the next step? Well, you got to demolish those buildings. So it could be the beginning of the end of a long history with the former Pillsbury Mills site. Demolition expected to take over the next couple of weeks, with 2 warehouses on the property being demolished. Total of about 50,000 square feet, or roughly 1/10 of the total remaining building space on the site. So moving Pillsbury forward, the nonprofit group that's dealing with this, they say the demolition and removal could cost around $100,000, but they're hoping to recover that with some other funds as well. Yeah. A lot of moving pieces when it comes to Springfield, and some headlines that it's good for you to know about. And, of course, you can always chime in live and local at 217-629-7970. Also in news, politics. You've got the race for city council shaping up with some names dropping out here and there, and even school board races shaping up. And those elections are anticipated to happen in April. And that's not just here in the Springfield area. That's all across the state, with the consolidated elections set to take place in April. If there's more than, I think, 4 candidates for one particular spot, they have a primary scheduled for late February. So just some things to consider. All right, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And yeah, I like watching the digital currency space. It's fascinating. I'm invested in digital currency, mainly Bitcoin. Now, don't get all wild or anything. It's not like I'm a Bitcoin millionaire or anything like that. It's just more of a hobby than anything. Over the past 11 years, having watched this develop over time, I'm not heavily invested in it. It's just, I guess you could say, kind of play money. I don't know. So I'm interested in what happens with the digital currency space. And some interesting things have been happening over the past couple of months. And that deals with FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried being extradited back to the United States, and I think his girlfriend pleading guilty to fraud. So we'll tackle some of that coming up next here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. But let's take, again, another look at that forecast, where you've got a high today of where it's at right right now. 34 degrees because that temperature is going to plummet throughout the rest of the day with a high of around 1 by Friday, by 5 p.m. rather. So that's today. Chance of rain and snow. It could be heavy at times after 3 p.m. with blowing snow, with winds up to 37 miles an hour, and then that temperature dropping down to 1 with the wind chill minus 23, and then overnight snow with another half an inch of snow accumulation possible. The actual temperature is going to be minus 7 overnight, with the wind chill at minus 34. So do not go out Thursday night. Friday morning, I'm likely not going to be able to get here with the visibility down quite a bit and wind chills down to 32 below, winds up to 43 miles an hour. And then Friday night, areas of blowing snow into Christmas Eve, patchy snow in the morning, but then mostly clear for Santa Claus. Christmas Eve heading into Christmas Day, sunny with a high of 14. Right now, it's 34 degrees, and that temperature is going to drop throughout the day. Right now, 7:19 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
At Ace Sign Company, our family is thankful for 135 years of serving the Springfield community. See how our team of sign professionals can build your brand with truly inspirational signage. Learn more about what Ace Sign Company can do for your business at acesignco.com. Ace Sign Company, built to inspire. Visit us at acesignco.com.
The holidays can be such a wonderful time of warmth and celebration.
But for some, it can be a very stressful time of year.
We invite you to share in the spirit of the holidays and donate non-perishable food, personal hygiene items, and baby diapers.
You can drop your donations off in the 2 Men in a Truck boxes located at S&K Buick GMC between now and the end of December.
They will then be locally distributed by Kumler Outreach Ministries.
For a complete list of items or to donate, visit WMAY.com.
There. Isn't that better? Springfield Overhead Doors by Heart reminds you that your garage door is the largest and most frequently used entrance of your home. Keep Mother Nature outside where she belongs and keep your garage and even your home toasty warm. If it's time for a new garage door, call the experts at Springfield Overhead Doors by Heart.
Call 787-2602. Springfield Overhead Doors by Heart.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Giving blood while giving back to fight hunger. Right now, when you donate blood at the Impact Life Donor Center, we'll make a $10 donation to Feed America on your behalf. Feed America partners with local food banks. Every $10 donated helps provide 100 meals for people facing hunger. See? Giving blood while giving back to fight hunger. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still making a donation to Feed America on your behalf. So don't delay. Make your appointment today. Giving blood is not a big deal, and you're done before you know it. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill in Springfield or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
If you've already donated to a food bank, just let them know. They've got a voucher for a $10 gift card for you instead. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Today, bring in an unwrapped toy for Toys for Tots to BLH, and you can recycle a TV free. Grab that old TV that's been staring at you from the corner of your basement and bring it to BLH in Springfield along with a toy valued at $10 or more. If you have 2 TVs, bring in 2 unwrapped toys. You'll leave feeling great you finally got rid of that old TV, and you'll put a smile on a kid's face for Christmas. BLH Computers on Stevenson Drive. BLHcomputers.com.
The WMAY Daily Poll is sponsored by Adams Pest Control for commercial, residential, real estate inspections, and termite control. Cast your vote with the WMAY mobile app or at WMAY.com/poll.
And today's poll question deals with the weather. Is the bad weather altering your holiday travel plans? Yes, I've had to reschedule everything. Or no, I've got to be where I've got to be regardless of the weather. 73% of you say, no, you've got to be where you've got to be regardless of the weather. Hopefully you've got plenty of provisions in your vehicle for you and your loved ones if you get trapped in that weather, because it's coming. It's 7:24 now. Go take the poll at WMAY.com/poll or on the WMAY mobile app. It's brought to you by Adams Pest Control.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
So digital currency is also known as cryptocurrency because some people think that it's hidden when really the go-to digital currency that sprung up a decade plus ago was Bitcoin, and it's completely transparent, meaning you can set up a wallet. Yeah, the wallet can be anonymous, but that wallet is on the blockchain, and the blockchain, everybody can see it. And that's one of the go-to things about Bitcoin, at least, because it is fully transparent on the blockchain, and it is self-certifying and not centralized. So it's not like a central bank, like the Federal Reserve, is dealing with the transactions and inflating currencies and tacking on zeros to the end of the spreadsheet to say we now have this many dollars. No, Bitcoin in particular is finite. There's only going to be, I think, like 21 million Bitcoin ever mined. And I think we're at like 19 million right now. But the blockchain's completely open and again, certified regularly by nodes that are decentralized, using complex calculations and equations to make these transactions happen. But in the past, 10, 11, 12 years, Bitcoin's been dominating, and it's the most expensive digital currency right now. But there's been all these other what you call meme coins of the moment. Some of those being like Dogecoin, which is a little doggy, and I don't know, it's sprung up and is fluctuated between like 6 cents to 12 cents per coin. There's tons of other different types of coins seeming to try to replicate Bitcoin, but not getting to that point, and even to the point now where we've got the digital currency space very much rocked by the prospect of over-regulation. And this being spurred on by what happened with FTX. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX, he created a token, FTT, sold the token, inflated the token, pulled the rug out of people who put money into that token to the tune of billions of dollars. This while he was giving out all kinds of political donations and whatnot. Well, it took several weeks for him to be arrested on fraud charges after he declared bankruptcy on Veterans Day. And a lot of people saying that the fraud was clear if you looked at the blockchain. Again, seeing that it's transparent. But the federal government now going another step. And yesterday, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York held a news conference and laid out briefly here new charges against the girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried and another associate with FTX. And here's that announcement from the U.S. Southern District of New York.
Last week, we announced charges against Samuel Bankman-Fried for a sweeping fraud scheme that contributed to FTX's collapse and for a campaign finance scheme that sought to influence public policy in Washington. As I said last week, this investigation is very much ongoing and it's moving very quickly. I also said that last week's announcement would not be our last. And let me be clear once again, neither is today's. I want to make two announcements. First, I'm announcing that the Southern District of New York has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wong, a co-founder of FTX, in connection with their roles in the frauds that contributed to FTX's collapse. Both Ms. Ellison and Mr. Wong have pled guilty to those charges, and they are both cooperating with the Southern District of New York. Let me reiterate a call that I made last week. If you participated in misconduct at FTX or Alameda, now is the time to get ahead of it. We are moving quickly, and our patience is not eternal. Second, I'm announcing that Samuel Bankman-Fried is now in FBI custody and is on his way back to the United States. He will be transported directly to the Southern District of New York, and he will appear in court before a judge in this district as soon as possible. Many individuals in the Bahamas and in the United States contributed to the swiftness of the defendant's return, and I want to thank the Bahamas for its outstanding assistance and excellent coordination with us. I also want to thank our partners at the United States Embassy in the Bahamas and the Justice Department's Office of International Affairs. And finally, I want to thank the FBI for moving mountains to get this done. This was a true team effort. Finally, I want to thank the career prosecutors from my office who were handling this case. We continue to work around the clock, and we are far from done.
So, again, that's the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York's office talking about new charges against some of Bankman-Fried's associates, and those individuals pleading guilty, avoiding stacks of years by having some kind of guilty plea. But also you had Bankman-Fried in custody now and heading to the U.S., to face those charges. But as you heard, there could be more coming, more people involved. And the charges range from fraud to illegal campaign contributions. What's going to happen with all of the money that was given out in politics, mostly to Democrats, even under the table, Bankman-Fried admitting to that, apparently. But you also have, what about all the money that celebrities got to help promote FTX and its fraud scheme here? So was this pure incompetence, or was it people, over their skis? What happened here? And the ramifications could lead to some crippling regulations on the digital currency space. Something that we will keep an eye on. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, an update from Illinois when it comes to vaccines. I'll tell you about a committee that announced they are set to meet today to discuss vaccines. We'll discuss that next on WMAY. But let's get an update from the newsroom. Now 7:31.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Throughout Mariupol, Ukraine, Russian workers are tearing down bombed-out buildings at a rate of at least one a day, hauling away bodies with the debris. Russian soldiers, builders, administrators, and doctors are replacing the thousands of Ukrainians who have died or left. 8 months after Mariupol fell into Russian hands, Russia is systematically eradicating Ukrainian cultural emblems, including statues and memorials to Ukrainian war heroes. The Associated Press found that more than 10,000 new graves already scar Mariupol since the beginning of Russian occupation. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning for the Springfield area from 6 a.m. today through 6 a.m. Saturday. Forecasters predict 2 to 4 inches of snow today with temperatures below zero, wind chills around 30 below, blowing and drifting snow, and poor visibility. These conditions could persist across central Illinois into Christmas Eve on Saturday. Stay with 92.7 WMAY for updates on the developing winter storm. A zoning change has been approved to allow a planned travel center on Stevenson Drive near Interstate 5572 in Springfield, despite concerns from nearby homeowners about noise. The Quick Trip Travel Center will have fuel canopies and other amenities for truck drivers, but it would not offer showers or long-term parking, and the company says they will discourage trucks from parking there and idling loud diesel engines for hours. Only Ward 1 Alderman Chuck Redpath voted against the zoning change, believing the center will create a nuisance. 3 incumbents on the Springfield School Board will run unopposed. Anthony Mars, Buffy Lale-Wolf, and Erica Austin. Newcomer Deborah Imes will run unopposed after incumbent William Ringer did not seek another term. The contested races are incumbent Micah Miller against challenger Emerson Weed in Subdistrict 2, incumbent Sarah Blissett facing challengers Spurgeon Johnson and Jessica Bandy in Subdistrict 3, and incumbent Jeff Tucka against Donna Hopwood and Ken Gilmore in Subdistrict 4. Demolition is expected to take place over the next 2 weeks on 2 warehouses at the former Pillsbury Mills site in Springfield. The warehouses represent roughly 10% of the building space on the site. The group Moving Pillsbury Forward says the work will cost about $100,000, and the group will recover some of that cost by recycling materials used to build the warehouses in 1929. The group says it's still working on financing to tear down the remaining structures on the site and hopes to complete the task in 3 years. One of the candidates for Springfield City Council next year has dropped out of the race. Dan Pittman was one of the 3 candidates who had filed to run for the open Ward 6 seat being vacated by Kristen DeCenso, but has decided to throw his support behind one of the other contenders, Jennifer Notoriano. Pittman says Notoriano has vowed to make sure that he and others like him in the ward will have a voice if she's elected. Notoriano will face Alyssa Hocker in the April election. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by 7th Street Cidery, Central Illinois' first cidery. Now open next door to Obed and Isaac's in downtown Springfield.
Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, drinking his Christmas cider. It's the perfect cup of cheer for this time of year, and his smile kept getting wider. Come check out the new 7th Street Cidery, the first cidery in Central Illinois. You'll love their warm, rustic atmosphere and great selection of locally sourced ciders, meads, and perries. 7th Street Cidery, now open at 503 South 7th Street, next to Obed and Isaac's in the heart of downtown Springfield.
Love to sink your teeth into juicy butts? Wiggle on over to Lil Willie's Smokehouse with the finest barbecue smoked daily. Watch your pleasure. Brisket, pork, chicken. Lil Willie's got it all. Plus all your favorite classic sides like homemade mac and cheese, Grandma Pauline's coleslaw, and cornbread. Also check out Lil Willie's rewards program and earn points like a beast every time you feast. Follow your nose to the smoke at the corner of MacArthur and South Grand. Wiggle Central. Open Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 7 for dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Online at LilWilliesBBQ.com.
Well, you know, Christmas is only a couple of weeks away, and the big old GOB sale at A.B. Lauer Jewelers is going crazy. Lots of great jewelry on sale at crazy prices, up to 80% off. Nothing's being held back. We're now open Mondays 11 to 6, so our hours are 11 to 6 Monday through Saturday. Don't wait any longer. We'll be closed forever after the holidays. A.B. Lauer Jewelers in the beautiful Montvale Junction Shopping Center on West Isles.
Listen up, goats. GreenCertifiedWest.com has a new tool for customers who want to sell their car or get a trade value. It's the GOAT Quote. Pre-owned vehicles are worth more now than ever before. It's easy to get a guaranteed offer from our goats. So how does it work?
Just go to GreenCertifiedWest.com, type in your license plate number, answer a few questions, and get your GOAT Quote right on the spot.
How does he type so fast? Don't sell or trade your car until you get the GOAT Quote, only from Green Certified West.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Blowing snow throughout the day today with blizzard conditions afternoon. Temperatures falling to 0 by 5 p.m. and wind chills in the 20s below 0. Tonight, continued windy, low around -7. Tomorrow, a chance of flurries. Continued windy and cold with temperatures around 0 all day and through the night. Saturday, light snow possible in the morning, then mostly sunny and windy with a high near 11. Christmas Day, sunny with a high near 15. And Monday, partly sunny with a high near 23. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
BLH Computers with locations in Springfield, Taylorville, Jacksonville. They are the place to go for your electronics this holiday season, and we only have 3 more days until Christmas. And at BLH Computers, you get the holiday guarantee. Exclusive gifts for you, like your next computer purchase, is exclusively guaranteed against any labor charges. And let's just say they do need to fix something for you, and they have that part in stock. Replacement is free. Some restrictions do apply, so you can check out blhcomputers.com for all the details. But BLH Computers, that is the place to go for your electronics. Still we're close to Christmas. You can still get in there, but they are also a place to go when you need to recycle those old electronics. BLH is E-Steward certified. That is the highest certification in the industry, ensures that those electronics are staying out of the landfills and also making sure that that sensitive data is staying out of the hands of the bad people. So you can clean out those closets, clean out those garages, see the full list of items that you can recycle. You can see the stuff that you can't recycle at blhcomputers.com. It's BLH Computers in Springfield, Taylorville, Jacksonville. Follow them on Facebook and see them online, blhcomputers.com.
How would you like to work for the area's premier multimedia marketing and advertising company right here in Springfield? Well, here's your opportunity. At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, we offer unique sales career opportunities where you're given a challenging mission, world-class tools like HubSpot CRM, ongoing training, and the chance to realize your full potential as a marketing and advertising sales professional. This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager at Midwest Family Springfield. Are you my next candidate? If so, please apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Let's talk about vaccines. And the CDC several weeks ago saying that they are updating the list of vaccines for children, and that includes the COVID-19 vaccine. And there was speculation, this happened before the election, and there was speculation that states are going to take that, as they typically do when the CDC updates their list, and make that a mandate statewide for, say, children to go to school. So there's already a list of vaccines and a schedule of vaccines that children have to get in order to be admitted into school. And that list is, widely available with your pediatrician. But there's also, exemptions. You can do a religious or a medical exemption in Illinois. But the speculation was before the election that there would be some kind of push after the election to require COVID-19 vaccines for kids to go to school. So I've been watching closely this website of a panel in Illinois that looks at these things. It's the Immunization Advisory Committee, and been having that on one of the at my home office, or really even on my laptop here or elsewhere. I have probably 80 different tabs on 2 different windows of all the different things that I monitor all throughout the day, and it can get kind of confusing at times, but I've been going to this website for the Immunization Advisory Committee and refreshing it every day. I'll stumble upon the tab and be like, oh, let's refresh that. No meeting scheduled. No meeting scheduled. No meeting scheduled. Well, I had the tab open yesterday and it refreshed, and it showed that indeed there is a meeting scheduled now. So if you follow me on Twitter, you saw this. The Illinois Immunization Advisory Committee meeting scheduled for today, December 22nd, 12:30. And the agenda includes COVID-19 bivalent vaccine coverage updates, but it says explicitly no votes are scheduled for this meeting. So you can see again, they did update their meetings, December 22nd, that's today, Immunization Advisory Committee meeting. And if you look at the agenda, the topics range from having several different presentations about, like, for instance, the history of vaccines and health impact, also adult and childhood immunization standards and coverage levels, plus they will discuss the COVID-19 bivalent vaccine coverage updates and grant updates, and topics to focus on in 2023, but it explicitly says no votes are scheduled for this meeting. So this is something we've been watching, and they are going to have that meeting today. Governor J.B. Pritzker will share with you what he had to say when he was asked about this after the election. And after the election, the governor essentially saying that, hey, this is going to be... Because, listen, the governor, at one point, he said that it's going to be up to the legislature as to whether COVID-19 vaccines are going to be required for school kids. But then he said that it's up to this panel now. So here's the governor just after the election talking about how this is going to be up to this advisory committee to make that decision.
Well, on the former question, I'd just say, they meet on a regular basis to look at vaccines and, what requirements there ought to be. There are no policies or plans to expand to include a COVID-19 vaccine in those requirements.
So he says that they meet regularly, but if you look at the actual meeting schedule for this committee, it is far from regular. We're looking here at, the meeting, of course, for December 22nd, but the last time they met was December 1st of 2021. Before that, they didn't meet at all in 2020. They met in May of 2019, December of 2018, March of 2017, and then November of 2016. So definitely not a regular list of meetings there. Let's get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
About 3 years after this is all forgotten, what will come up is how much the pharmaceutical companies in this country is pushing all this crap and making billions of dollars. That's what's going to happen.
You already see that a lot of the corporate media, all throughout COVID-19 in their reporting, they talked about the numbers of COVID, this, that, and the other, the numbers of deaths, and then a lot of questions about, was it with COVID, was it without COVID, and then they'd go to break, and it would say, brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, that's what you can bet your ass and Sonny Sweet Jesus. That's what's going to happen. After it's all said and done, we'll be just like we do after every time we have one of these national crises. Somebody steps up and makes a killing on it, and we're stuck with holding the bag.
Yeah, and a lot of tax dollars involved in all of this. And the survival rate for COVID has always been like 98 point some odd percent, depending on your age, 99 point some odd percent, depending on your age. But we've spent trillions of dollars on this since the beginning of the pandemic with the first aid package under former President Trump. He did not want to do another one, but then you got President Joe Biden, and he passed yet another aid package with millions and millions of dollars. Like, for instance, the city of Springfield is sitting on like 20 some odd $1 million right now, just sitting there. That was from federal COVID relief. What happened is the expansion of inflation to historic levels because the Federal Reserve just pumped out that money at the behest of Congress. So now we're dealing with higher inflation, higher interest rates, money supply issues, all of that. But down to the issue of vaccines, and again, we'll be covering what happens at this vaccine committee today at around 12:30. There could be some public comments that'll be interesting. But the idea of vaccine mandates and vaccine passports, if you remember, that was something that even Chicago was doing. Major cities were doing here in the United States, seeming to take a playbook out of what China is doing. But they relaxed all of those, and even here in Illinois, they relaxed some of those mandates on, say, K through 12 staff. But what about for K through 12 students? Is that going to happen? Apparently not today. So they're not going to be taking any votes at this advisory committee in Illinois. But you've got the impacts that have already hit the U.S. military, and thousands of members of the military were impacted by the vaccine mandates that were just lifted through the passage and implementation of the National Defense Authorization Act. And the headline here is U.S. military members who refused COVID shot, they await answers and face challenges. So there were members of the military that were let go for not complying with the vaccine mandates. But now with those vaccine mandates lifted, what happens to those members of the military? It's an interesting question and something I think that we have to continue to monitor. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today we've got a high of, well, right now, that's what the high is. It's about 32 degrees, and you're going to see that temperature plummet throughout the day down to 1 by 5 p.m. and the wind chill could be down to minus 23 as the winds pick up to 37 miles an hour. This as we get blowing snow after 3 o'clock, and it's going to stack up 2 to 4 inches, but those wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour going to cause some low visibility and possible snow drifts and more snow overnight. Another half-inch possible with a low down to minus 7, the wind chill down to minus 34. Friday, a chance of flurries with the high of only 1, 43-mile-an-hour wind gusts causing a wind chill of minus 32 Friday. Friday night, areas of blowing snow with a low of minus 2. Saturday, patchy blowing snow, the high of only 11. And then for Christmas Day, we're looking at a high of 14 with sunshine after clear skies Christmas Eve. Right now, 34 degrees at 7:48 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? I'm Kyle Edmiston, a local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you. We'll create a personalized financial strategy backed by our advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me, Kyle Edmiston, at 217-787-1710. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Online means no lines. When you're ordering from Head West, go to headwestsubs.com and get fed without waiting in line.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
Yes, you got that right.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Kix Brooks here to tell you about Navy Federal Credit Union. Whether investing, saving, or borrowing money for a new car, Navy Federal is here to help. Right now, members get rates as low as 1.79% APR on new vehicle loans, along with flexible monthly payments and terms. Learn more by visiting NavyFederal.org.
Navy Federal is federally insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Rates subject to change and based on credit worthiness. Rates may differ. Terms and conditions apply.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a scary movie victim.
Oh no, a tree fell on my car, and there's only one thing to do. Trip over my own feet and pull myself across the lawn while yelling help at a barely audible volume.
Sorry to interrupt, but you filed a claim with Geico, so you've got a designated claims team to help you.
This Geico sounds suspiciously reassuring. Are you sure I don't end up getting surprised with an unexpected twist?
Just that your Geico team will always be there to keep you updated.
No!
What is it? Oh, nothing. I just didn't see that coming. Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Those of us in Illinois who've been here for, most of our lives didn't really notice that our neighbors were moving out until probably about 9 years ago, when we started seeing annual census estimates showing that the state of Illinois was losing population. And we're expecting a census report on those annual population estimates today. In just over an hour, expecting those to be released by the U.S. Census Bureau. What's it going to say? Are we going to grow, or are we going to shrink, or are we going to stagnate? I want to hear from you a little bit later on at 217-629-7970. But let's talk about where we've come from for the past year when it comes to our population estimate. So, just flashing back to some of the reporting we've done previously on this, Illinois' population's been shrinking for years as more people leave the state than arrive. Did the trend continue this past year? Well, we're set to find out this morning. So estimates over the past decade have shown that, and I'll pull this up from some previous reporting, the U.S. Census estimates that Illinois lost 114,000 people in 1 year. This was the release from 2021. All right, that's on top of an estimated 80,000 people lost the year before in 2020. In 2019, Illinois lost 51,250 people. Since 2014, the total estimated population lost, this is the estimate, is 406,000. Larger than the populations of Aurora and Joliet combined. So that's the estimate every year stacked on top of each other. So if we lost 100,000 plus people from 2020 to 2021, actually I think it'd be 2020 to 2019, 2019 to 2020. Either way, we've lost more than 400,000 people after 8 consecutive years of population decline. And then we get to, a little bit later on, whenever we finally get the decennial census. And the decennial census is the 10-year census. That's the official count of a state's population. And that's also what's used for congressional reapportionment every 10 years. And what that showed when it was released in 2021 of April, Governor J.B. Pritzker acknowledged that, we are seeing some population decline. Here's what he had to say is the fix, as Illinois was one of 3 states to lose people and also losing a seat in Congress. Here's Governor J.B. Pritzker responding to some of that. Back in 2021.
Over a decade, we've lost population. We've got to turn that around. So I immediately set out to address that with the General Assembly, and we did. We increased significantly the amount of MAP grants that are available to people, making sure that community college students were able to get more MAP grants than they had before, and making sure our merit-based scholarships, aim high, were increased. So collectively that has helped. Unfortunately, as you know, just when that was starting to take effect, COVID hit.
So Illinois was actually one of the 3 states that actually lost population over the last decade. And we know from our population estimates program that the state of Illinois actually had negative net domestic migration. Again, there were more people moving out of that state than moving into that state.
What we found out today is what we knew all along, what's going on in Southern Illinois, and that is suffering population. And due to 2 things, and the 2 things that we knew, and this kind of verifies it, high taxes and the regulatory environment that discourages private growth and investment.
So this was back in 2021, April of 2021, when we got the decennial census, and it showed that we continue to lose population, though it wasn't as much as what was estimated. Again, the estimate was 8 consecutive years of population decline, totaling more than 400,000. But the decennial census only showed that Illinois lost 18,000, which was enough for us to lose a seat in Congress. But despite that loss of the seat in Congress, you had Democrats in Illinois push to revise the state's estimates upwards. And this is because of a survey that came out earlier this year that said the census may have undercounted Illinois by around 2%. So Democrats took that, including the governor and congressional leaders, and they said, hey, Illinois is growing census per this survey. So you need to revise the state's numbers upward. I talked with U.S. Senator Dick Durbin at the Illinois State Fair this year and asked him about whether or not he's heard back from the census. I still have yet to hear if they have heard back from the U.S. Census, but he was essentially saying, hey, Illinois is growing. Here's Senator Dick Durbin from the Illinois State Fair addressing this particular question.
We lost population according to the decennial census, but we had that post-enumeration survey that said there was a possible 2% or so change, but the census hasn't changed. What's the latest on that?
I haven't received a reply yet.
Why is that important?
Well, it means federal dollars coming back home. The greater the population, the more federal dollars returned to us. I want to help the taxpayers get their money back. I think we gained population. You know, the Tribune's going to disagree with me because they got their own editorial policy, but the numbers speak for themselves.
You know, honesty is always the best policy. You could play with statistics number as much as you want, but I'll tell you, people are hurting. Not just Republicans, but Democrats, independents, people who've never voted
and that's
before.
Kathy Salvi, who was the Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate, talking about these numbers and just some difference of opinion, I guess. But with the new numbers set to come out here in just a handful of minutes, it's going to be released at about 9 o'clock our time. We'll see what the U.S. Census has to say. But anecdotally, you've got leaders like House Minority Leader Jim Durkin, who are making it clear that what they're seeing is not population growth. Jim Durkin here talking about what he's seeing in his own neighborhood.
Shrinking. And proof is that I'll just talk about my neighborhood. Most people that I know have either left and moved to Indiana, or they have a for sale sign in their front yard, specifically because of the tax consequences that they believe is going to be thrust upon them in the near future. We are shrinking.
So, coming up next, let's hear from you at 217-629-7970. Is Illinois growing or is Illinois shrinking? All right, so your phone calls 217-629-7970. We'll get to those next. That's in about 10 minutes, so stay tuned, all right? Much more coming up now. It's 8 o'clock on this Thursday, and we got some winter weather coming our way with a storm warning remaining in effect until Saturday.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. More than 1,200 canceled flights and counting as a once-in-a-generation winter storm, says the National Weather Service, grips a huge swath of the country.
It's a good thing we're getting out before the storm comes.
Traveler Glenn Williams headed from Orlando to New York. In Texas, the cold has some worried about the state's sometimes iffy power grid.
Once the temperatures start to fall here in North Texas at around midday, they won't quit until it's well below freezing by nightfall. The cold snap brings back memories of February 2021 when millions lost electricity. Governor Greg Abbott promises that this time,
the power grid will remain up and running very robustly during this cold snap.
The state and its power providers have spent billions in the last 22 months to fortify and weatherize Texas' electrical infrastructure. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
FTX cryptocurrency exchange co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried expected before a judge in New York today after being extradited from the Bahamas last night. Two of his alleged co-conspirators have already pleaded guilty.
The Southern District of New York has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, a co-founder of FTX, in connection with their roles in the frauds that contributed to FTX's collapse.
U.S. Attorney Damian Williams. Later today, the January 6th committee releases its final report with the historic recommendation that former President Trump be criminally charged with obstruction, conspiracy, and inciting the insurrection. Another government shutdown is looming. Congress still negotiating a $1.7 trillion spending bill. Among the sticking points, fully reinstating Title 42, keeping the
embedded in that bill to get passed through both houses and fairly soon.
State Department spokesman John Kirby. This is ABC News.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated.
With Prevnar.
All right, your phone call's coming up about whether or not we are growing or shrinking. In less than an hour's time, we're going to get updated U.S. Census numbers. This after 8 years in a row of estimated decline population. Are we going to see that reverse, or is it going to be the same old story? I want to hear from you. What's your prediction? 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Coming up. Also, it's going to be a wild ride later on throughout the day as we anticipate snow and plummeting temperatures. It's not going to be pretty with the temperatures feeling like minus 15, if not worse, because of the high winds and blowing snow. So be mindful of that. Right now it's 8:03, and let's get a headline check from the newsroom.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning for the Springfield area from 6 a.m. today through 6 a.m. Saturday. Forecasters predict 2 to 4 inches of snow today with temperatures below zero, wind chills around 30 below, blowing and drifting snow, and poor visibility. These conditions could persist across central Illinois into Christmas Eve on Saturday. Stay with 92.7 WMAY for updates on the developing winter storm. During testimony this week in the General Assembly, several groups who want assault-style firearms in the hands of private individuals vowed to sue if Illinois lawmakers pass a ban on the sale of assault weapons in large-capacity magazines. NRA lobbyist Todd Vandermeide questioned how the state would be able to enforce provisions that would require current owners of assault-style weapons to register those firearms. The General Assembly plans to take up the proposed ban during the lame duck session in early January. Springfield aldermen have approved a redevelopment agreement with the company behind a planned residential and retail project near downtown, despite frustration that they received details of the agreement less than an hour before Tuesday night's city council meeting. Some aldermen wanted to wait for 2 weeks to allow more time to review the paperwork for the Lofts on Madison project, but Adirondack Community Development pushed for immediate action, saying that any delays raise the risk of interest rate increases and higher costs for the project. Mayor Jim Langfelter noted that city council will have more opportunities to insist on changes, including the creation of a targeted TIF district. Christmas has come a bit early in Taylorville, where residents are celebrating the reopening of the city's main grocery store after a nearly 5-month shutdown. The Taylorville Kroger was closed by the state in late July over concerns that material containing asbestos was mishandled during a store remodeling project. After months of cleanup, the store reopened Wednesday morning with dozens of shoppers waiting to get in when the doors opened at 6 a.m. Kroger executives presented the Taylorville Food Pantry with $5,000 in gift cards. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the yawn exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
You know, it's times like these where you're looking at the forecast and you're thinking, man, those temperatures are going to drop quite a bit. Is my old clunky car going to make it? Well, maybe you're looking for a Christmas miracle. Mike Quimby as Santa Quimby and the elves at Green Hyundai stand by to deliver that Christmas miracle and give that assurance when such weather hits, your car is going to be all right. Mike, tell us what you got on the lot.
That's right. Hey, we do. And we're open, of course, all day today and Friday and then Saturday till about, 2 or 3. So we're ready to give you a practical Christmas gift. That you have to have transportation, guys. You have to have it. I mean, you got either that or you'll be taking a bike. In this kind of weather, it's not going to be even possible. So we got them backed up by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's going to give you years and years of service, not just a Christmas gift. It will give the whole family joy with a 7 or 8 passenger Palisade, Santa Fe's, Tucson's on the ground, 4-wheel drives, and we'll be there till 7 o'clock tonight. Now, we don't mention it much, but you can use the phone to call us. 217-525-1370 is our phone number. We can do virtually the car deal over the phone, have the vehicle waiting for you inside out at Green Hyundai. We have a white building on the south side of the facility with 4 open bays that are tropical 72 degrees. Inspect your car and have safe, reliable transportation, the best Christmas gift ever that gives all year and years down the road. We are your Christmas destination. Ho, ho, ho. Green Hyundai, Dirksen Parkway. Greg?
Mike Quimby, Santa Quimby. Have yourself a great day.
You too, Greg. Appreciate it.
This is the time of year to be thinking about furnace maintenance as the weather is going to get steadily cooler. But if your furnace is 12 to 15 years old or older, it may be time to think about furnace replacement. The typical lifespan for a good furnace is about 12 to 15 years. And if it's been working hard for that time or more, it really is time to think about replacing it. There's a lot of benefits to it. You will see dramatically improved energy efficiency, lower utility bills, and a home that's a lot more comfortable. So reach out to the furnace installation experts at MB Heating and Cooling today. Now, if your furnace just needs maintenance, MB is also the place to go. You can sign up for a service agreement with MB Heating and Cooling for 2 performance tune-ups per year, 24-hour priority service and energy-saving coil cleaning, and a discount on replacement parts and labor. Whether you have a need for maintenance or for a replacement, call MB Heating and Cooling. Call 217-544-HEAT, 544-4328, or visit mb-heating.com.
Memorial Health would like to talk to you about a career in healthcare. Now through the end of January, Memorial is hosting a series of hiring events for multiple departments. Come learn about our available positions, as well as some of the biggest hiring incentives we've ever offered, like limited-time hiring bonuses for RNs and PCTs. Virtual sessions are available, but hurry, space is limited. Register now at jobs.memorial.health/events. Memorial is an equal opportunity employer.
Listen up, goats. GreenCertifiedWest.com has a new tool for customers who want to sell their car or get a trade value. It's the GOAT Quote. Pre-owned vehicles are worth more now than ever before. It's easy to get a guaranteed offer from our goats. So how does it work?
Just go to GreenCertifiedWest.com, type in your license plate number, answer a few questions, and get your GOAT Quote right on the spot.
How does he type so fast? Don't sell or trade your car until you get the GOAT Quote, only from Green Certified West.
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Blowing snow throughout the day today with blizzard conditions after noon. Temperatures falling to 0 by 5 p.m. and wind chills in the 20s below 0. Tonight, continued windy, low around -7. Tomorrow, a chance of flurries. Continued windy and cold with temperatures around 0 all day and through the night. Saturday, light snow possible in the morning, then mostly sunny and windy with a high near 11. Christmas Day, sunny with a high near 15. And Monday, partly sunny with a high near 23. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
How would you like to work for the area's premier multimedia marketing and advertising company right here in Springfield? Well, here's your opportunity. At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, we offer unique sales career opportunities where you're given a challenging mission, world-class tools like HubSpot CRM, ongoing training, and the chance to realize your full potential as a marketing and advertising sales professional. This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager at Midwest Family Springfield. Are you my next candidate? If so, Please apply online today at MidwestFamilySBI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Sale? I say up to 80% off is a sale. Now at A.B. Lauer Jewelers on West Isles, just off Chatham Road.
At A.B. Lauer, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Hey, this is Brian. Christmas is almost here, and I'm getting nervous. I still have a lot of jewelry to clear out, so we're now up to 80% off. It's gotta go.
At A.B. Lauer, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
You could dig a hole in the ground and bury your cash, but that's no way to see your savings grow. Use an INBCD, and you'll earn a 3.14% annual percentage yield just for keeping your money with us for 13 months. The minimum deposit and balance for this certificate of deposit special is $10,000. For more details, visit INB.com. Apply at any INB branch or on our website. INB, member FDIC.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Let's talk about population. Do you think Illinois is growing or shrinking as we've shrunk consecutively 8 years in a row? And a total estimated of 400,000+. We got the decennial census from 2021 that showed Illinois lost 18,000. We lost a seat in Congress because of that. But Democrats at the State House and in Congress from Illinois are pushing for the census to revise the state's population upward. Regardless of them asking for that earlier this year, the U.S. Census still has Illinois at 12.67 million people, down 1.1% from 10 years before. So today, in just about 45 minutes or so, the U.S. Census is going to release their annual population estimates. Now, we don't have any indication. The U.S. Census says they did not offer any embargo. Typically, members of the media get a detailed release with an embargo saying it's going to be released at this day on this time, and don't release this information. So I don't know if somebody across the country or multiple people screwed up that embargo before. So they're not doing the embargo. It's just going to be released to the public today at 9 o'clock our time at the U.S. Census's website. So we'll be watching that closely, but again, I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. Do you think that we are growing or shrinking? And let's take a look at some of the other indicators that there have been. One thing that we look at isn't just these annual population estimates, which again, 8 years in a row, the estimates released last year on this day showed that Illinois lost population. Again, 8 years in a row for a total of an estimated 400,000+ lost. So today we'll get those numbers to see if we have a 9th year in a row of population decline estimated, or if we level off, or if we see an increase in population. But what do you think? 217-629-7970. Call in. I answer the phone and put you right on air, and we can talk about this. But some of the other indicators that we've looked at includes tax receipts. Are people of certain incomes moving out of Illinois to other states? And the IRS data that's released annually indicates that that happens year after year after year in Illinois by taking a look at where people file in one state and then where they file in another state the following year. And that shows that Illinois continues to have outbound migration. Now, another indicator that we look at is the Allied Van Lines study. And if you look at their website, they've got an interactive map. National Movers Study, and this is from Allied.com. And I've got this set at 2017. All right, and I'm just going to kind of go through here. 2017, you can see the map. It shows states that either have high inbound migration, or they're balanced, or there's high outbound migration. So even in 2017, Allied Van Lines shows, Texas, for instance, high inbound migration. Florida, high inbound migration. Illinois, we've got high outbound migration. So this is from 2017. You can kind of see the map. I'm going to flip through some of the years here. So 2017, You see Illinois in 2018 remains a high outbound state. You see in 2019, Illinois remains a high outbound state. In 2020, Illinois remains a high outbound state. 2021, Illinois remains a high outbound state. And 2022, Illinois remains a high outbound state. If you click on it, you can see kind of some of the total numbers of inbound versus outbound at 33.9% inbound, with 66% outbound. And Chicago numbers there, people are moving to Arizona, Florida as well, Texas. From Springfield, people are moving to North Carolina, New York, St. Louis, Missouri, Florida, Oregon, Indiana. So you can kind of see here Allied van lines indicating just exactly where we're at in this picture of total outbound migration across the country. So that's just another indication of, are we going to possibly see that continue in the new census numbers that are going to be released today? I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. What are you seeing? Are you seeing people move out of the state? Or are you somebody who has moved out of the state and you're just checking into WMAY? I want to hear from you. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Again, the numbers come out at 9 o'clock our time, the latest U.S. Census numbers. We'll see exactly whether, we're growing or we're shrinking. But let's hear from you at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on Springfield's Morning News. What is your prediction?
I know more people are leaving the state, but if you think living in Florida is cheaper, it may be cheaper taxes, but your insurance costs are so much more. My cousin lives in Miami area, and he pays almost $10,000 for homeowner's insurance on a little 1,200 square foot house. So just because taxes are higher here and lower in Florida doesn't mean it's cheaper to live there.
Yeah, there's even in Missouri, they have a property tax that, for instance, you have to pay a tax on certain things like your vehicle every year. We don't have that in Illinois, but we have the second highest property tax, real estate property taxes.
I don't disagree that. But, the problem is that, and I blame both parties, they're not putting good candidates up to change laws. They put up bad politicians. And it just, you take Ronner, for example, he didn't help us.
But listen, I mean, the Republican, former Republican governor, Bruce Rauner, he came in with a hostile House and Senate being led by former longtime Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, who now faces 23 federal counts of federal indictments. So he had that to contend with in the supermajority. Yeah.
We need better politicians, plain and simple.
All right, well, see, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people in Southern Illinois don't like how Chicago runs the states with policies, and you see the school curriculum, you see the push to ban certain types of weapons, you see a whole host of other liberal policies being implemented. These are all things that obviously also play into this, as does the weather. And the idea of moving to a more warm climate like Florida or Texas, those things also play into it. But do you predict that we're going to see fewer people in the report that comes out today?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Appreciate the call. Want to hear from more of you at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Do you think we're growing or are we shrinking? So stay tuned. More of your calls coming up on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop. Let's take a look at a different map here of the weather forecast. And looks like, we're starting to see that move more into Illinois as the storm system now really over Kansas City, getting ready to just go all the way across all of Missouri, and starting to see some of the cloud covers and some of the precipitation hit the northwestern part of Illinois, and even the map that's a little bit more of just a focus of the Springfield area. from the Lincoln Weather Service. You can see just a plume of that weather developing across Illinois, with the possibility of up to 2 to 4 inches of snow. It's not just the snow. You've got plummeting temperatures. Right now it's about 30 some odd degrees, but it's going to get down to 1 degree by 5 p.m. with snow after 3 p.m. and then wind gusts up to 30 plus miles an hour, if not more. The wind chill is going to feel like minus 23. Thursday night, tonight, you got a low of minus 7 with wind chill down to minus 34 and winds up to 43 miles an hour with more snow, about a half an inch possible overnight, stacking up on top of the 2 to 4 inches possible. Then Friday, a chance of flurries with a high of only 1. For Saturday, Christmas Eve, patchy blowing snow early, the high of 11. Then overnight, it's going to be mostly clear with a low of 0 and 16 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. For Christmas Day, sunny, the high of 14. Right now, we've got about 30 some odd degrees. It's going to get down to 1 by 5. It's 8:22 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
The holidays are right around the corner, and boy, they can be stressful. At Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, we help take away the hustle and bustle by providing a holly jolly travel experience. From free parking to daily nonstop flights and easy one-stop connections, travel is easier than ever when you fly SPI. 'Tis the season of travel. We're here to help you get to your loved ones. Don't wait. Book today. FlySPI.com.
Take the easy way out.
The Ramsey Show.
So the idea that getting rid of debt is somehow going to cause the American capitalistic system to completely fail is asinine.
You're stupid and arrogant.
You people in corporate America are idiots. You're just dumb. But I think we're confused as to who's arrogant on this call, brother.
I've got a book suggestion for Chris. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a classic. You should read it.
The Ramsey Show, weeknights at 10. Sponsored by INB. Bank Easy. Bank INB.
Hi, it's Shane Luttrell from Luttrell Jewelers. The 16th annual Big Holiday Sale is happening right now until Christmas. Holiday shopping with up to 30% off and no interest financing. Luttrell Jewelers, open 6 days a week until Christmas.
Giving blood while giving back to fight hunger. Right now, when you donate blood at the Impact Life Donor Center, we'll make a $10 donation to Feed America on your behalf. Feed America partners with local food banks. Every $10 donated helps provide 100 meals for people facing hunger. See? Giving blood while giving back to fight hunger. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still making a donation to Feed America on your behalf. So don't delay. Make your appointment today. Giving blood is not a big deal, and you're done before you know it. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill in Springfield or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
If you've already donated to a food bank, just let them know. They've got a voucher for a $10 gift card for you instead. Visit bloodcenter.org.
With a double X battery, generations of power.
You can jumpstart your car with a device you can hold in your hand. I'm Laurie from Rex Battery, and if you find yourself with a dead battery, the NOCO Genius Boost is all you need. You don't have to wait for a friend to show up, call a tow truck, or hope a stranger has jumper cables. If you have the NOCO Genius Boost, you have the charge you need to get your car going again. One charge can get you as many as 20 jumps. Rex Battery always carries the latest technology, and these small devices pack big power, enough oomph to start your cars, trucks, and even boats. They even have USB ports so you can get your phone powered up if you're stranded. The NOCO Genius Boost. Pick up one today at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery, generations of power.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
'Tis the season of giving, and there's no better gift than the gift of security. From now until January 1st, new customers that purchase a basic security system with monitoring or switch an existing competitor system to Barcom can qualify for a free doorbell camera. So now you can keep an eye on those pesky porch bandits. To see if you qualify for the free doorbell camera, contact the local Barcom security office or go to barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
The WMAY Daily Poll is sponsored by Adams Pest Control for commercial, residential, real estate inspections, and termite control. Cast your vote with the WMAY mobile app or at WMAY.com/poll.
Is the bad weather altering your holiday travel plans? Yes, it had to reschedule, or no, I've got to be where I've got to be, so regardless of the weather, I'm going. And looks like 73% of you say, nope, you got to be where you got to be, so regardless of the weather, you're not altering your travel plans. Go vote at WMAY.com. It's brought to you by Adams Pest Control. You can also vote on the WMAY mobile app. All right, so make it happen.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Getting your calls as to whether you think Illinois is growing or shrinking. Expecting just about 32 minutes or so. The release from the U.S. Census that will show annual population estimates, including for Illinois, which has seen 8 consecutive years of population decline, according to the numbers released last year on this day. So what do you think? 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Are we going to grow, or are we going to shrink, or are we going to plateau? And a lot of other indicators over the past 10 years showing that Illinois continues to lose population. But the population estimate's not the only thing that the U.S. Census is releasing. They've released several other reports this month so far. They've released census about schools and how many children are being enrolled in school all across the country. They don't have that broken down by state quite yet for the most recent data. They just have nationwide numbers, and I think the number was like 1.1% increase of kids being registered for school across all races and genders. But other statistics that they released this month includes small area income and poverty estimates. And if you go to their website, you can see this. And if you're watching along with us online, you can see just how Illinois is done. So the numbers they released just a week or so ago on poverty shows that Illinois' estimated poverty rate's about 12.1%. And if you look at surrounding states, Iowa's at 11.2, Wisconsin at 11.1, Indiana at 13, Missouri at 13.2% poverty, Kentucky at 16.7% poverty, which is pretty amazing. But how is that compared to last year? If you look at the chart, it shows that Illinois is increasing in its poverty rate, going from 11% in 2020 after a substantial decline over the several years from 2013 to 2014 to 2015, declining all the way down to 10.8%. to 11.2%, but then it jumped up to 12.1%. So that shows a little bit of another indicator of the amount of poverty that there is. But another indicator also that they released earlier this month was vacant housing, and Illinois actually saw a decrease in the number of vacant housing. But let's get to your calls. Do you think Illinois is going to grow or shrink? 217-629-7970. We've got about 30 minutes or so before they release the latest latest annual estimates. What's your prediction? Good morning.
I would say it's probably going to shrink even more. But especially if they pass certain legislation for our state, which is the gun laws and the COVID vaccines for children in schools, if they make that mandatory. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going that way. You know what I mean? My thought is it's going to decline.
All right, so looking at a possible decline, we'll know if you're right in about 29 minutes. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Your prediction, are we going to grow or are we going to shrink?
Well, I live in Springfield. I've lived here most of my life, and I'd like to see the state grow. But just personally witnessing Springfield myself, I have seen, like, through Town and Country Shopping Center and other places. I talked to a business owner a few years ago, and he said he was leaving just because of the whole situation. He said it's not good here, so he left. And if you go to those shopping centers, unfortunately, there's just a lot of empty stores there, you know.
Yeah, and if you look at the business climate, that's one thing I hear a lot from businesses as well, that the costs for employing people in Illinois is higher. Everything from higher workers' compensation insurance costs to higher payroll taxes to even the unemployment taxes that employers have to pay when you're looking at like manufacturing jobs, for instance. All of those factors start stacking up, and other states may be more amenable or easier to do business in. So those are factors that, takes jobs elsewhere, and people follow jobs.
Well, Springfield is a tourism city. I love this city. I hope, that we go the other direction, that we grow. But so far, my personal experiences, I've seen people leaving, and I don't want to see that happen.
So you do predict that we'll see continued decline?
Yes.
Appreciate the call, and we'll likely talk more about this as we get those numbers and digest them. And if you want to follow along, I am going to be turning a report around about this in short order. So follow me on Twitter, Bishop on Air, Facebook, Bishop on Air. Just search Bishop on Air across all social media, and we'll be able to connect that way. And you can also find this conversation and other conversations, interviews, call-in segments, all on our Facebook page or on the YouTube channel, Bishop on Air. Just search that and make it happen. It is Springfield's